Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm creating for Mixed Media Frenzy, and it's our monthly YouTube hop, and the theme this month was Cheers to the New Year. Now, being in the UK, New Year was pretty much cancelled this year, as was Christmas. We were in lockdown, or still are, so we weren't allowed to go anywhere or see family or friends or leave our house. So we didn't really celebrate New Year this year, but just after New Year comes our little boy's birthday, and he was 4 this year. So our New Year started pretty much with his birthday, so I'm documenting that as our start to New Year for this layout. I've applied some clear gesso to my background cardstock here, which is a textured white basil cardstock. So I let my gesso dry. And now I'm adding some Lindy's Magicals, and this is in Edelweiss Moss Green. It's a gorgeous colour. In the pot it actually looks like it's going to be yellow or gold, but comes out green. It really is magical. You can see where they get their name. And the powder itself has tiny little specks of other colours as well. So when I initially added some water, I could see some blues and reds, and it was really weird, and I wondered what colour I was actually going to end up with. But I eventually got green, and I just added loads of water, and I've just kind of rolled my page around to spread the ink out. And then with the excess that was pooling, I've just added some splatters. And this is a gold Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I'm just sort of adding some more water to that and smushing that around, and we'll add some splatters. Initially I was going for a vertical layout, as you see it here on the screen. That ended up changing because I wasn't happy with how the mixed media looked like this, or my photo placement. This layout came very close to going in the bin at this point. I just really wasn't happy. I've printed my photo off twice. I've got a 3x4, which is on the screen now, and then I printed off a slightly smaller version, and I toyed with swapping the big one out for the little one, and toyed with bringing both of them in. I just wasn't happy with my mixed media like this. So in the end I end up putting it to one side, and I thought I'll concentrate on my balloons, and may have to start my background again, but just wanted to distract myself from it for a little bit. So I've got these balloons which have just been cut with metal dies, and I'm just painting them with the same Lindy's Magicals. I'm going to do 2 green, and the other ones I'm going to do in gold. Now, I initially tried the Heidi Swap Colour Shine. It wasn't really taking. There's no gesso on these balloons. I just felt like I was moving the colour around and it was going really pale. So I dried the excess off with a paper towel and came back in with a gold acrylic paint and just painted them with those instead. So I've brought my background back in. I'm trying to make it work. I'm still really not happy. You can see I'm just sat here staring at it. I've tried bringing that second photo in, and then in the end I turned it horizontally and actually preferred it. And strangely, the shape of my mixed media looks like the Isle of Wight, which is where my parents live. So once I'd seen that, I thought, oh well, I can't put it in the bin now, so we'll go with it. I actually really prefer it horizontally, so I just trimmed the page down slightly with the branding strip there, and I decided to go with the larger of the 2 photos in the end. So I'm just going to build up some layers behind my photo. Whilst I do that, please do remember to check out my description box below my video, because there's a lot of people from the Mixed Media Frenzy community taking part in this YouTube hop. The whole group to get together and do a larger scale one the last Friday of the month. So there's quite a few of us taking part today, so please do, once you've finished my video, pop along to the next one in the hop and work your way through the list. We're all working to the same theme, so there'll be lots of celebrating and New Year's layouts, hopefully, for those of you that were allowed to celebrate it this year. So I've added a layer of white cardstock behind my photo, and that's just to help give it some separation from the background. And behind that I've added a layer of gold glittered cardstock, and then behind that I've done a third layer of a green patterned paper. That is from the Simple Stories Birthday Blast collection, I think it's called. And I've distressed all the edges with the blade of my scissors. And these puffy stickers I've got here are from the same Simple Stories collection, so I'm going to use the Hooray one for my title. And I'm just at the moment just sticking it repeatedly to my hand and pulling it back off, just so that it loses a lot of its sticky, so that I can put it on my page and pull it back off if I need to move it. And this star pattern paper I've been hoarding for ages. It's from one of the Vicky Booting collections. I finally cut into it recently for another layout, so rather than having it sitting around now, I'm determined to make good use of it. So I've fussy cut loads of green and red stars from that I'll add to my layout. So I decided I wanted a little bit more on my background, so I've pulled out, this is a black Stays On ink, and I've got a couple of small star stamps, and I'm just going back round with, I've got an acrylic block there with my stamp on the back. I'm just adding lots of black stars to my layout. I've got, this one is a filled in star, and the other one I've got is a smaller one, but it's just the outline of a star. And I just felt I wanted some darker tones to the background, because my little boy's jumper in the photo, the bottom half of it is a really dark navy, always looks black in the photo. So I just felt like I wanted to bring a little bit more black in, just to help all these colours pop and to tie it in together a bit better. So I'm adding my photo up on a layer of craft foam. I quite often do that with my layouts. I like a lot of dimension. And then I'm going to place some craft foam underneath my layout, purely just to act as a mat, because I'm going to pierce some holes, kind of like for balloon strings, and then I'm going to hand stitch the balloon strings on with a gold metallic thread by We Are Memory Keepers, which is my favourite thread to use for layouts. It's got quite a wiry, stiff texture, so it's really easy to hand stitch with, and I love using it for like thread tangles as part of embellishment clusters, because it really does behave and it stays in nice neat circles. However, it does not like my sewing machine at all, and it makes my needle kind of jolt and pull away from my stitching, so I do not use it in my machine. But for hand stitching, I think it's lovely to use. So I'm just going to spend some time, I won't make you watch all of it, but I just do 4 balloon strings, just a few inches long each, just to add a bit more texture and interest to my layout. And it just means that my balloons aren't really just floating in the middle of my page, they're kind of grounded with some string, as a normal balloon would be. So there we go, with the power of editing, I have completed my hand stitching now, and as you can see, my page has really warped. I very rarely use gesso because I do find it makes my pages warp a lot more, and I did use quite a bit of water on this layout. I think my main problem is I dried it with my heat gun because I was impatient and on a deadline, so I didn't want to have to leave it overnight to dry, and whenever I use my heat gun, it always makes my page warp. So I will have to probably pop this layout under something heavy or one of my D-ring albums for a few days to try and flatten it out. So because I've raised my photo up onto craft foam, I've had to raise my title up as well. So I've not done the H because that's sitting on the photo, but the rest of the layers I've just added some, it's double-sided foam tape behind it, just to bring it up to the same level as my photo. And then I'm going to scatter those stars to the right hand side of my page. And I'm just going to fussy cut a couple of embellishments out. I don't want to embellish this much more than I already have because it's looking a little busy and very concentrated in the middle at the moment. But it's a birthday layout, so I did want to add a birthday cake and a few presents. And again, I think they're from the same Simple Stories Birthday Blast collection, if I'm right, which is a lovely, bright, colourful birthday collection. And I've raised those up onto foam pads, and I'm doing the same with all of the stars just to bring in some more dimension, because like I said, I really do like dimension on my layouts. I very rarely, if probably never actually, make a completely flat layout. I always like to have lots of dimension, so foam pads come in handy for that, and I get through an awful lot of them. So this sticker sheet is by Photoplay. It's I think it's called Norbert's Birthday Party or something, the collection. Again, I've only bought this from that collection, I think, because I love the bright colours and it worked really well with the red and green theme we had for my little boy's birthday this year. So I've got a number 4 sticker from the top there, and I've stuck that on one of my stars. And I'm sticking a couple of the smaller stars onto my balloon die cuts. I think that's all I do from that sticker sheet. I'm adding a border around the edge of my page and just doodling with a black fine tip pen there. And I'm going to add some more of the green splatter, so I want to try and get this quite concentrated so that it's a darker green, just to add a bit more green to the layout and just to spread that mixed media out a bit. So at this point I thought I was done, but I decided those black stars were standing out a bit too much, and I didn't have anything else black on the page to help balance them out. I thought about doing some black splatters, but because the stars are kind of splattered on the background, I didn't think that would work as well. So I've got these, they're raw chipboard chevrons. They're left over from my Paper Maze design team box from last year. And I'm just sticking some of them down. This is literally all I had left, so I had to try and centre them underneath my title there between the Y and the star, because I didn't have any extras to bring in. But I've just stuck those down with glossy accents to make sure they hold, and I'm using a black acrylic paint just to paint those black, and just brings the layout together a bit more, I felt, with that extra pop of black. And that is my layout finished now, so thank you very much for joining me. Please do remember to hit the subscribe button so you get notified of my future layouts, and please do work your way through the list. As I said, there are lots of us from Mixed Media Frenzy taking part in the hop today, so it'd be great if you could visit their channels and subscribe to those as well. So thanks very much, and I'll leave you with the close-ups.